after 156 games, each 2 more than the regular schedule called for. The Buns from Brooklyn, the Giants from New York have come down to the wire to where it is all or nothing. What happened before, even the Giants' closing rush from 13 and a half out, will be forgotten when the final decision is rendered at the Polo Grounds this afternoon. 20 years from now, the fans will be talking about this afternoon's hero as yet unknown, but the man and the hour are about to meet. If there is a GOAT, his name will echo down the corridor of time, coupled with Fred Perkle of Bonehead fame, and Freddie Snodgrass, whose muffed fly ball cost the Giants the World Championship of 1912. The tension has been building until the strain has become terrific. Neither Dresden nor DeRocher can afford to gamble. The leadoff batter will be Pee Wee Reese for Carl Perot for the Brooklyn Dodgers in the top half of the first inning. Magley, the barber, ready to lather the Dodgers. Against him it'll be Newcomb. We'll pause for station identification. This is the second largest network in the world, the Liberty Broadcasting System. Under dark, gloomy, somber skies at the Polo Grounds in New York, it's the greatest show on earth. The Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Giants' final sudden death showdown payoff game. The playoff payoff. Here's Carl Perot against Sal Magley. First half of the first inning in a game I'm sure that we will all long remember. Pee Wee Reese on deck, Duke Snyder down in the hole. Cold-blooded Sal, the outlaw from Drummondville. Veteran of Veracruz, starts from the windup. First pitch of a historic game, brings it down, sidearmer raked outside for ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. This game adds another dramatic page to the history of the New York Giants, whose history already covers 70 years of one of the most dramatic stories in sports. Great Giant names have been on this field before us. None in quite so difficult a spot as Sal Magley this afternoon. Magley in the windup. Giant right-hander brings that black arm low and outside for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes, first inning. Sal Magley pitching. Carl Perot on the take again. 2-0. Magley working first inning. Dodgers famed Symphony Band is here, but has competition this afternoon from a Giant band. 3 buglers and 1 bass drummer. Giant band calls itself the Fish Hole Mob from Mulberry Street. Everybody is here. Jam-packed, enthusiastic crowd. Magley delivers. He's in there with a strike across the belt. Whipping fastball, crackling down there, pops in the middle of Westwestern for a low with a count of 2-1. Little Reese, the Dodgers' fleet-footed field captain, is on deck. Duke Snyder down in the hole. First half of the first inning, the maiden frame, Liberty's final game of the year. Carl Perot waits, slow stance, steps forward, strides, takes strike 2 call on the outside corner. As Magley, the air-splitting precision expert, eased one across the outside corner, a curve that didn't break too well, but held it anyway. And it's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, first inning. Dodgers and New York Giants. Need we say more? Out on the mound, Magley, abrasive, blue, black-bearded right-hander, pitches the 2-2 ball, sidearm, swung on, next foul, back toward the Giants dugout, coming up on top, racing for it is Westrom, but is unable to play it. It's back into the Giants dugout. Sal Magley was the logical choice today for the big one of the big ones. Magley, an old head at 34 years, has been around for 13 years in baseball. He has pitched under the most difficult possible circumstances. Banned from baseball for jumping to the Mexican League. Sal Magley worked in Drummondville. He worked in heat, in drizzle, in driving rain, in broiling sun. He worked in Tampico, riding buses, riding mules, riding everything. He is one of the toughest pitchers in the game, certainly one of the most taciturn. Kicks, fires, 2-2 ball, strike 3 call. Perot, and the drama begins late on the line. These 2 managers must have whirling, tumultuous thoughts going through their mind. I can just imagine. You put your whole life in a game, they must be thinking, and then they give you 1 afternoon to make good. Sudden death, playoff showdown. It's Reese now. Perot took a strike 3 call on the 2-2 pitch. Sal Magley rocks, throws, overarm, drives him back from the plate as Reese twists away. 1 ball and no strikes with 1 out. Magley, 141 strikeouts. The Giants' shining 23-game winner. Well rested against a Don Newcomb who has pitched 14 2/3 innings in 5 days. Can't be so well rested. Magley throws down. Reese fouls it off home plate. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Up. Pee Wee Reese, number 1, the Brooklyn Dodgers field captain. Newcomb and Magley have each hurled 3 shutouts this year. This is the second start between the 2 of them in which a decision has been rendered. Magley beat Newcomb in the only other start they've made against each other. The ancient cricket crease below the bluff. On the Black paper-littered shores of the Harlem River. Polo Grounds, New York. Magley bends way over as though looking through a keyhole. Starts from the windup. Reese, low over the plate, backs away, ducking under a pitch off the top of his cap, and its count is 2-1. Reese at bat. Duke Snyder on deck, Jackie Robinson down in the hole. Second time these two have met as starters, Magley and Newcomb, August the 16th at the Polo Grounds. Magley beat Newcomb 2-1. Crowd tight as a fiddle string. Payoff in Harlem as the Giants, favorites of Harlem, meet the boys from the land across the East River, the Brooklyn Dodgers. Up ahead, grimy skies. Across through the fog beyond the Harlem River, the great gray spires of Yankee Stadium, which will be alive tomorrow with the World Series, as one of these two will play. We don't know which now, but the team is about to meet the hour as Reese takes ball 3 outside, 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike. Drama riding with every pitch. This is the end of it. Asked before the game about whether he can pitch tonight or today. Preacher Rose said, if I do, I'll have to go right-handed. Reese stride, takes low on a Magley slide up the ball 4, and Pee-wee is on. Question is whether Magley is sharp. Both pitchers did appear to be sharp in their warm-up. Magley to our right in front of the Giants dugout along the first base line, and below us, Big Don Newcomb, who was warming up in front of the Brooklyn Dodger dugout. Final game in the turbulent, ebbing National League race. The Giants have played on the same field for more than 60 years, longer than any other team in baseball. I've written many a page in history, and another one is being written today, so listen closely, and you can tell your grandchildren. You heard the most dramatic of them all. Magley pitches, Snyder takes high. 1 ball and no strike. The distances for you here today, 257 feet to right field, 279 down the left field line, 483 feet to the Eddie Grant Memorial Shaft in center. Underneath, Old Glory, which is unfurled from the center field masthead. The right field wall, 10.5 feet high. The left field wall, nearly 17 feet tall, with a capacity here of 55,000. Reese down at first. Snyder the batter. Magley feeds him, peels one off, dealing high, ball 2. 2 balls, no strike. Levine's shutout yesterday against the Giants was the 7th shutout against this team this year. They're tough to shut out. Staley got 2, Sane 1, Roberts 1, Paulette 1. Newcomb has 1 against the Giants, 1 of the 7, and Levine's yesterday, obviously. From Bernard Baruch and Tom Dewey to Brooklyn's Harry the Horse and Spanish John Phillips, you have to talk baseball in New York today. From Flatbush Avenue to Sheepshead Bay. From the Savard Ballroom to the Harlem YMCA, from Jacobs Beach to Hamburger Heaven, this series has got the joint jumping. 8 million New Yorkers are really moving today. Left-hand batter, Snyder, 275 hitter. The outfield's almost straight away. Bending over to get the sign, peeking in. Sal Magley whests him down in catching position. Here is Snyder ready to come up with a swing, and he takes underneath the knees for ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Snyder at bat. Magley having trouble with his control, which seems to be on the blink in the top half of the first inning. Magley, who never shaves before a game, lets his beard grow with normally one of the heaviest beards in the game. The barber shaving the Brooklyn Dodgers this afternoon, but shaving the corners slightly too close. He walked Reese, walked Snyder, has 3-0 against Snyder. On deck, Jack Robinson, a name to conjure fear in Giant hearts at this point, and then Andy Pasco. Here's a 3-0 ball. The giveaway pitch is slide for ball 4. Reese at second, Snyder at first, and the hitter will be the foe of Leo DeRocher. Jack Robinson hitting 337. Andy Pasco on deck. Gil Hodges down in the hole. Must have been 1 million people asked me how I thought today's game would turn out. I always answer them like the news commentators, very inconclusively. I'd always say, well, it's certain that one thing will happen if anything else does, and that is that there's going to be action in the Polo Grounds this afternoon. Larry Jansen has begun to limber up the Giants bullpen. All the stops are out. The pitch to Robinson. Swung on, driven down to a big hit in the hole. Here's Pee-wee Reese around third on his way to the score. The throw to second, and Snyder is there. Run in. Dodgers lead 1-0. Comes in before this frantic, frenzied crowd. the New York Giants hopes take a sudden back turn. Jackie Robinson fit into the first pitch and hit a blue darter hole in the shortstop between Dark and Bobby Thompson. Reese raced in from second to score. Snyder holds up at second. One out. Andy Pasco, the batter. That was Jackie's 185th hit. He has been tremendous in the last few days. Sal Magley being talked to by catcher Westrom. By his manager, Leo DeRosa, who now comes out to the mound. They'll waste no time at all. Larry Jansen, the Oregonian, the big family man, warming up in the bullpen. New York Giants trail by a score of 1-0. First half of the first inning. Reese walked, Snyder walked, Robinson drove home the run. With a sharp single outed in the hole between Dark and Thompson to the left. Sal Magley looks in. The batter, Andy Pasco, wide strider, 2 home runs in 2 days. Steps forward, cuts the foul, back, and up into the upper deck out of play. Misty, murky skies overhead. The New York Giants, Brooklyn Dodgers in the final of the final. The last one there can be. The lights went on yesterday during the game. Will have to be turned on again today in the process of it. In any one baseball game, the odds are almost even, but the bookmakers went along with Magley today by slight odds. He's trailing 1-0 first inning. Sal Magley checking Reese down at second base. Snyder throws. Pasco hits a weak grounder in fair territory down the third baseline. Stepped on third by Thompson. The throw to first is not in time. There's a force out at third base as Bobby Thompson picked up a ball that went perilously close to foul territory, bouncing along the third baseline. He stepped on third almost simultaneously with the arrival of Snyder, but in time for the out. Threw across to first where Pasco was by just a hand safe on the fielder's choice. With 2 away and 2 on, Robinson second, Pasco on the jumping off place. It's big Gil Hodges, whose 40 home runs paces the Brooklyn attack in that department. The magic number for either team now 1. For the loser, 1952. And great was the rejoicing in Flatbush last night as the little fella from Woonsocket, Rhode Island, Clem Lapine, threw a brilliant shutout into the Brooklyn, into the New York Giants. Hodges, 270 hitter. Robinson down at second. On at first base. Andy Pasco on the fielder's choice. 2 out. Magley trails 1-0 as the barber shaves a little too close. His control went awry in the first inning throws. Misses the outside corner with a sweeping out drop. Magley's best pitch is that fearsome curve with a right angle break on it as it comes in long about letter high and takes a sudden dip downward that is extremely difficult to perceive. The Giants have 178 home runs. The Dodgers 184 home runs. Little to choose in that department. Here's Magley checking the feared Jackie Robinson at second. Sal delivers, and the cold-blooded right-hander is over there for a called strike. Sal, with nerves of steel, the obvious choice for this ball game because he's been in many pressure ball games, has always been equal to the occasion. So this most stirring of all the pennant races goes to the very end today, when these 2 teams, all even on the last day of the regular season, all even after 2 playoff games, meet now in the final deciding game here today with both aces carrying the mail. It's Magley checking Robinson on at first. The runner is Pasco. Hodges beats a weak pop-up along the third base line. Here's Bobby Thompson squeaking fast. He's there. He's got it. With the Brooklyn Dodgers in a profitable first inning, and even 1 run is a highly profitable, nay, a rich first inning against Magley. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left marooned on base spinning their wheels against the barber. Out on the mound goes that huge elephantine right-hander Don Newcomb to pick up the ball and face Eddie Stanky. The score at the end of 1/2 inning of play. The visiting Dodgers from the land across the East River won. The New York Giants, nothing. Hitting list for the New York Giants, Eddie Stanky at second base. Alvin Dark is at shortstop. Don Mueller in right field. Marty Irvin in left field. Ronnie Lockman, 279 hitters at first base. Bob Thompson, the Giants' hero of the last few days, batting .290, is playing third and hitting sixth. Willie Mays in the big field. Wes Westrom down there behind the plate. And on the hill, the barber, black-bearded Sal Magley. Magley from Niagara Falls, New York. 23 wins and 6 defeats for Magley. So your Giant hitting list of 9: Stanky, Dark, Mueller, Irvin, Lockman, Thompson, Mays, Westrom, and Magley. The umpire at home plate, Lou Jorda, ready to go play ball for play in the last half of the first inning. Now Don Newcomb is out on the mound. Eddie Stanky is up against him for the New York Giants. Stanky Last half of the first inning, Sankey, the flaming spirit, vibrantly alive, fierce competitor. It has been many times said that Eddie Sankey has glorified the base on balls. With him, the walk is a major weapon. It's an attack. For opposing pitchers, this little fella, Eddie Sankey, miniature second baseman, is baseball's most aggravating player. There is a study, the David and the Goliath of it, Newcomb and Sankey. Newcomb pumps, pitches, Sankey watches, ball one is outside. One ball and no strikes. Another dramatic page in Polo Grounds history. As players here will go down alongside John McGraw and Christy Mathewson and Mike Donlin and Buck Herzog and Amos Rusey and Doyle and Frisch and them all. The pitch. Sankey watches. Strike one call across the outside corner. One ball, one strike. Last half of the first inning. Ed Sankey at bat. Great base on balls getter, holds the National League record in that department. A tough little man to get out. The man whom Branch Rickey said about. He can't run, he can't hit, he can't field, but I wouldn't trade him for Hornsby in his prime. Sankey waits. The Newcomb delivery. Swung on, beaten foul down past DeRocher along the third base coaching line. That run, surrendered by Magley in the top half of the first inning, could be a most pivotal, a most crucial run, looming ever larger as we go down, mounting the scoreboards, the goose eggs on the scoreboard today. He walked Reese, then he walked Snyder, and with men on first and second after Perillo had struck out, Jackie Robbins hit a first pitch single in the hole and drove home the run, by which the Dodgers lead Leo DeRocher's hated New York Giants crew 1-0 in this battle of the arch rivals, last battle of the year. Here is the 1-2 pitch to Sankey. Eddie takes below the knees on a Newcomb dropper for ball two. He threw that tremendous overarm dropping curve, sinking down too low on Sankey. 2 balls, 2 strikes. On deck, Alvin Dark of the New York Giants. Here's Don Newcomb into the windup now. He kicks. The Giant right-hander fires. Sankey swings and curves it foul over near the Brooklyn Dodger dugout. The string is run out of the National League. Last game, the last one there can be this year, unless for some reason this one is postponed this afternoon. Skies overhead are leaden, heavy with rain, but I think they'll go on and play this one. At least we would wait for hours and hours and hours and hours, indeed up into the evening tonight, before postponing it. President Ford Frick of the National League, soon to become the commissioner of baseball, wants to play it if at all possible. He wants that World Series to start tomorrow. Newcomb, the 2-2 ball to Sankey. Eddie back, high, ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes, a payoff count on Sankey. Now Newcomb's got to plank the big one down and in there to the little fellow. Pocket-sized Eddie Sankey, one of the smallest players in big league baseball. A fighter in the Phil Rizzuto tradition. Fiery, volatile second baseman, waiting. Number 22, has good eyes, Sankey. Not too fast. Infield, halfway up, outfield, shortened to the left. The pitch to Sankey, swings, beats one foul down past DeRocher. Slow like old Luke Appling, stands up there, fouls him off, waiting for the one he wants. Can you remember who was in right field for the Giants in 1937 when they took their last pennant? Sure you can. It was that grand guy, Mel Ott. And now, Mel's daughter is about to be married. You feel kind of old, man? For the third time in 4 days, the Brooklyn club wriggled back off the brink of the precipice into a National League tie yesterday. One more push, and over they've gone. Newcomb kicks the payoff pitch, swung on. There's a little try fly out toward right left field. That goes in very fast, stop. Pulls it down to the out of Sankey, laid a blooper out in short left field. Tafko raced in to get it, and most of the crowd had probably convinced themselves that Eddie Sankey, having worked Newcomb to a 3-2 count, was to be given a pass that time. But Newcomb bearing down, putting everything that he has on it this afternoon, pitching with utmost caution, planked one right down the wheelhouse, and Sankey had to hit it or go out of there on strikes. Here is Al Dark of the National League New York Giants. Right-hand hitter Dark, the pitch to him. Al swings, beats a sky-high fly along the third baseline. Coming in for it is Billy Cox near the mound. He's got it, putting it in the well for the out of there or two away. The Giants 2 up and 2 down to Newcomb. And now the batter, Don Mueller. Teammates call him Mandrake. That's a tribute to the almost magical way that Don places his hit. He's only 23, and that's the doorway to a long and brilliant career. Mueller, whose home run hitting here at the Polo Grounds against Newcomb and other of the Brooklyn Dodger pitchers has been a sore point with him. On deck, Marty Irvin. Newcomb rocks the Giants right-hander vigorously, throws, strikes called on the outside corner. Bill Terry, the last Giant manager to bring them a winner, was on hand yesterday and is again today. The roster of celebrities here today reads like a who's who. This ball game being brought to you throughout the world on Liberty and the Armed Forces Radio Service. Newcomb's big pitch, slow ball, swung on as he pulled him, beaten down to the first base coach, Freddie Fitzsimmons, who nurses the Giant pitchers. Leo DeRocha wigwagging at third. Very heavy, somber skies overhead. A few birds circling the field. Probably the Brooklyn wombat, which makes it sound like a baseball bat. Newcomb working on Mueller. Big time, kicks, fires, rocks it outside for ball one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Newcomb against Magley. Final game of the year. The playoff, payoff, the showdown, the end, and what more could you want? A tasty menu for a Wednesday afternoon on Liberty, huh? The wind is blowing here this afternoon toward right. Will be a factor for left-hand hitters like this Mueller, who takes ball 2 outside, 2-2. The deuces are up, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. And Don Mueller, the hitter, up with a .275 hitting average. He's playing right for the New York Giants. Number 22, Mueller. The deuce is really up then. Stewart at second base. Conlon first, gets third. Big Don Newcomb rocks, kicks, fires. There's a swing and a drive. Out in left field. Andy Capco goes back, turns around, pulls it into the outward side of the side on a blistering line drive to left by Mueller. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. And the guaranteeing pressure in the National League has but 8 innings left to go at the Polo Grounds. The Brooklyn Dodgers won, the New York Giants nothing. Well, about 25,000 rooters are over here from beautiful, scenic Brooklyn. Lovely garden spot. Brighton Beach, Sheepshead Bay, Prospect Park, Bedford Avenue, flowers, trees, Boyd's. Well, the Brooklyn Dodgers, the last 1/3 of the hitting list of 9, solidly confronting Sal Magley here with the chips on the line as we open the first half of the second inning. Let's see how the outer defense will play. Bill Cox, a good glove man, choke hitting right-hander, stands feet close together in toward the plate. Third baseman in just off the line. Stark stride toward third off the grass. Sankey near second, deep back in the bag. The first baseman nearly on the line to pitch. Billy Cox backs away from a strike, which catches that inside corner to a right-hand hitter. 1 ball, no strike. Sal Magley, the barber shaving. He has lathered the Dodgers 5 times this season, and they've only beaten him once. He throws down. Cox backs away from a button-high pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. You know, of all the dates marked in the Polo Grounds calendar, July the 16th, 1902, almost a half-century ago, was the most famous up to today. That was the day that John McGraw was engaged to manage the Giants. His spirits here today. Great name. Cox swings. It's a one-hopper right back to Magley, who throws to first. He got him for the out. 1-3. And Magley, after a rocky beginning in which the barber showed the first signs of nervousness that I have ever seen him show, was just a little bit awry on his control. He missed the corners on Reese, put him on, and that was what cost him. Or perhaps it was the walk to Snyder which cost him, because that was the one which advanced Reese in scoring territory, from where Jackie Robinson drove him home with a whistling single to left. Left-hand hitter Rube Walker, the South Carolinian, watches, takes a called strike. As per usual, the lines of the coaching boxes are already completely erased. DeRocha, wasting no time getting fate and superstition on his side, did it early. Magley throws, curveball, beaten back foul. Well, Magley, a name to bring dread to Brooklyn hearts. Determined, cold, unemotional opponent. Maybe even showing the slightest signs of the wear and tear in the first half of the first inning when he walked Reese, walked Snyder, and Robinson hitting for a single. But it's early in the ball game. There's a long way to go. Here in the Polo Grounds, a heavy shroud of mist. Overhead, damp gray skies. The pitch taken outside. Somber October afternoon. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Brooklyn won, the New York Giants nothing. 55,000 close-packed bodies in the Polo Grounds, which is taut with suspense. As 2 tired and nearly depleted ball teams come down to the wire. The pitch by Magley. Swung on and missed for strike 3. That was a low-breaking slider. That little curveball thrown with a sharp wrist twist. He broke it down, slid it in around the knees to the left-hand hitting Walker. Had a home run and 2 other hits there yesterday. Gets 2 away as Don Newcomb, that good hitting Brooklyn pitcher, comes on. record this year, 20 wins and 9 defeats. Two of the best managers in baseball, two great strategists, Leo DeRocher and Charlie Dressen, opposing each other in a battle to the finish, the final in the National League.
Magley, arms behind his head, the right-handed throws. Newcomb lifts a high pop-up to the left side, slicing it off as he hit late on a fastball. Thompson's there and makes a basket catch of the ball to retire the side. At the end of 1 1/2, here at the jam-packed Polo Grounds in New York, in baseball's history-making third playoff, and the only third playoff game in history, the Brooklyn Dodgers won, the New York Giants 0.
Down into the windup goes Don Newcomb, big right-hander, unbent, serve and swing, hits one down deep the hole. Reese goes over, fields the ball, throws to first, and he's in time with his throw for the out. Pee Wee's fielding has been spectacular in this series. He, like Sal Magley, is a great player under fire. Reese sped over to his right into what would have been, for a less fleet shortstop, the hole in the left side of the infield. But he plugged the dike, stuck his gloved hand in there, in the lurch, grabbed it, threw to first for the out, and here is Whitey Lockman. Newcomb pitches, Whitey swings, hits one down to the right side. Hodges tries to back at it, but this is in the right field on the ground for a Giant base hit. And Lockman, the potential tying run, is at first base. Hutt is the potential go-ahead run. Bobby Hutt. So here is the Royal Scot, so called by his Giant players, with reference, of course, to the famous London to Edinburgh Express. Stylish, polished ball player, Bobby Thompson. Rusty thumper. Lockman down at first. We pass the Yankee Stadium on the way over here. We can see that flags and pennants are all decked out in preparation for the World Series. Thompson watches wide, just looking over one and ignoring a pitch, which was okay at the height in the strike zone, but a shade wide. Bob Thompson batting, Willie Mays on deck, Wes Westrom down in the hole. Lockman down at first. Standing close to the bag as Hodges goes in for a word with his pitcher. 31 home runs and 96 runs batted in, the record this year. Third time in 4 days. Brooklyn trying to stave off the final summons in the National League. Also, the Giants, and they're in tough shape now. Trail 1-0. Newcomb lets it go. Thompson swings at the line, runs left field line. It is hit out for base hit. Lockman turns second, holds at second. Bobby Thompson racing for second. Two runners are going to be on second. Here it is. Reese is taking Thompson back toward first. He is tagged out by Gil Hodges as the New York Giants to a Brooklyn St. Herbert. Babe Herman. That one hasn't been seen since the Duffiness boys in years gone by. Whitey Lockman was held up at second base by the third base coach, Leo DeRocher, but Thompson, head down, charging at full steam like old Babe Herman used to do, rounded first, near second before he saw that Whitey Lockman was still on the bag, and of course two runners can't occupy the same second one time. Lockman was already entitled to it. Thompson turned around, headed full tilt back for first, couldn't make it, as Reese, taking the relay from Papco, threw him out to Hodges, who tagged. 2 out, 1 on. Lockman is second in scoring territory, and battling up there is Willie Mays, the New York Giant right-hander. Up until yesterday, the Giants hadn't lost a game since September the 20th. Had won 8 in a row, 38 out of 45, 7 of the last 8. The Dodgers beat them 10-0. LaFine shut him out. Newcomb throws, and Willie Mays takes strike call. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out. Mays, 275 hitter. Cox is at third for the Dodgers. Reese at shortstop. Jackie Robinson at second base. Gil Hodges at first base. Robbie deep back of the bag. Step off the grass. Pee Wee hands on knees. Ready, waiting. Halfway up at shortstop. Cox close to the line with Erskine beginning to warm for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Outfield. Stand off deep to the left. Arms over his head. Don Newcomb. Big Brooklyn right-hander throws down. Sizzling fastball driven along the left field line. The top rope going back toward the wall. Go be there. He got it. Well, the New York Giants pulling a skull in the second inning. A real boneyard play. Would have had runners at first and second with 1 man out. Willie Mays and Western 2 up. But as a result of Bobby Thompson's headlong charge into second base with Whitey Lockman already occupying the bag, memories are brought to mind of Babe Herman, who still grows green in the limbo of Brooklyn. No run, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. Going now into the first half of the third inning at the Polo Grounds in New York. The Brooklyn Dodgers won, the New York Giants nothing. At the Polo Grounds, it's a Brooklyn hitting list of Perillo, Reese, Snyder, Robinson, Capco, Hodges, Cox, Rube Walker, and Don Newcomb. The Giants have started off darkly indeed. You know, it's interesting that these two teams, no matter how tired, how crippled, how ailing their pitching staffs are, well, they just happen to have two 20-game winning aces ready for this final game. DeRocha and Dresden had Newcomb and Magley ready. Well, out into the field go the Giants, looking as worried as a Bostonian going west of Worcester. The lights come on. We told you they would early this afternoon. That's two innings. Now I guess 3 innings, actually, earlier than they were illuminated yesterday afternoon. Magley wipes his brow. The barber, the Niagara Falls Nugget, Sal Magley, pitching to Carl Frillo, who led in the first inning with a strikeout, reaches for one and looks at ball one, which twirls down low and outside. With Carl Frillo batting for the Brooklyn Dodgers, Magley peels it off. Frillo hits a weak bounder right back to the hill. Frillo throws, or Magley throws. He got him for the out. Magley to Lockman, 1-3 on Frillo, who has twice meekly submitted to Sal Magley. And now it'll be Pee Wee Reese, who wheeled a walk off Magley as he came up the first time and raced home from second to score on Jackie Robinson's solid bingle in the hole on the left side. Lou Jorda calling balls and strikes. Jocko Conlon at first. Bill Stewart's down at second base, and Larry Getz is at third. And now for the stalwart blue line from Brooklyn, Pee Wee Reese. The shining heroes of Harlem, the New York Giants on the field. Sal Magley winds, throws, and it's missing outside. Ball one out. Brooklyn won, the New York Giants nothing. Playoff payoff. The final. The end of the end. Last game of the year between these two as Reese watches ball two twirled outside. Magley does definitely not appear as sharp here this afternoon as he has been in other games we've seen him, particularly the one last Saturday when he four-hitted the Boston Braves in a masterful shutout. If anything, Newcomb has looked the sharper. Magley throws, strike call on the outside corner. Even so, Newcomb yielded 2 base hits to the New York Giants in the second inning, which only wretched Giant base running kept from being a real threat to the big Brooklyn right-hander. The ancient picket crease below the bluff. There's one swung on, hit up into the air out toward right field in foul territory. Whitey Lockman's over near the grandstand. He's got it. Lockman went over to pull it down, drifting under one that was curved foul. Kind of a powder puff hit up along the first baseline. Lockman dashed back to pull it down. So now Magley, after a rocky beginning, has retired 7 batters in order. Duke Snyder is the hitter for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Snyder, S-N-I-D-E-R. Duke, National League pennant on the line. The World Series on the line. Snyder swings, cutting hard, flailing at an outside pitch, and I do believe that he went a-fishing. Billowing breakers of the Harlem River. Out beyond the center field fence, the Snyder watches outside. 1-1. Polo Ground. Bounded behind us by Coogan's Bluff, in the front by the Harlem River. On the right by a huge parking lot. On the left by some apartment buildings. Magley bends over, peeking in for the sign. Kicks, throws, Snyder cuts, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, but you hear him roaring behind, don't you? This is a ball game to end them. A dipper-handled, green-sided nickel nipper today. A real scene breaker. Dresden from yesterday claimed that Sheldon Jones was throwing a spitter. Pitch is high, 2-2 on Snyder with 2 away. The base is empty as a schoolroom in July. The outfield shaded to the left. There was a new wrinkle about that spitball. They usually, the Giants and the Dodgers, are arguing over beanballs rather than spitballs. Magley getting the sign. Westrom in crap shooting position, giving it to him. Magley feeds. 3 outs. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on as Sal Magley, finding the touch, has now gotten 8 batters in a row. Since Jackie Robinson delivered the lone single off Sal Magley here this afternoon, but a most important and pivotal blow it was. A solid clutch hit. smacked into the hole between Doc and Thompson at shortstop to send Reese racing home with a glorious Brooklyn score in the first inning. Glorious, that is, for Dodger rooters. It has cast a pall of despondency over Giant rooters. We'll go into the last of the third with the Giants bringing up Westrom, Magley, and Stanky in a moment. Score 1-0 Dodgers. Wes Westrom will lead it off for the Giants, and the smiling senior from Niagara Falls, Salvatore Magley, will follow. Eddie Stanky down in the hole. Stanky. Wes Westrom with a .247 hitting average is the batter for the New York Giants as we come on into this inning. Westrom wearing number 9, kicks around, getting a firm toe hold in the batter's box. Down on his haunches, Al Rube Walker. Big Newcomb out on the mound for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Scuffs around. And now it's play. Last half of the third inning. Wes Westrom, who broke the all-time National League fielding record for catchers last year with a .999 average, is the batter. A good sticker, good power hitter. Not consistent, though. Swings, misses. Hard play on it. 0-1. Newcomb pumping him home for the Brooklyn Dodgers, trying to ride that one-run lead home. He got it in the first inning as Jackie Robinson, who's been the big belter for the Dodgers for the past few days, against Leo DeRocher, his mortal enemy, singled it home. Westrom swings, cracks a hard curving liner into the upper deck foul. Westrom, .247 hitter. Sal Magley on deck. This fellow Westrom, fine defensive catcher, made in 680 chances last year. One low throw, just one error. A .999 record for the highest average ever recorded, fielding-wise, in the National League. Very good catcher, going out well on pop flies, gets out well for butts, hits a long ball occasionally. The Giants, in their previous second inning, had a golden moment. Lockman singled. Thompson followed with a slashing single to left. But then, shades of Babe Herman raced into second base with Lockman already on the bag. The pitch by Newcomb arched in high inside. High. In that Dodger game so many years ago, it was Babe Herman, Dazzy Vance, and Chick Fuster on third base all at one and the same time. Herman and Vance slid into third base, and the Babe passed Chick Fuster on the way. Here's the pitch, taken high inside by the right-hand hitter, Wes Westrom. Very high and inside. Well, we told you when this ball game started that heroes would be made and goats would be born to be talked about down through the years here at the Polo Grounds this afternoon, and we may have had a famous repetition of the Fred Merkle incident here today. Don Newcomb throws and misses inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Payoff count on Westrom, leading off the third inning. Yes, so you remember back in I think it was 1912 when Freddie Merkle of Bonehead fame and Fred Snodgrass infield must fly cost the Giants the World Championship. Westrom takes ball 4 outside his arm. And it might be this afternoon that Bobby Thompson play, or else whoever was responsible for it would be joined alongside that. Sal Magley will now be the batter. See, Westrom would have been up in the second inning had there not been the skull on the part of the Giants as far as base running is concerned. They would have had 2 on and 1 out with an opportunity for both Mays and Westrom. You see now, Westrom has walked. Magley, the batter, smiling Salvador. The infield charges in as he is expected to bunt, and he doesn't. It is strike one call down the middle of it. Sal Magley batting for the New York Giants. The Giants have had the best National League pitching, and a lot of it can be traced right home to Sal Magley. He was the league's winningest last year, that is in 50, with 18-4. Second only to Jim Hearn in earned run average with 271. Won 11 games straight at the close of last season. Infield in again. The pitch to Magley, who's trying to bunt. It's high, though. 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. To show you what kind of a pitcher Sal Magley is under fire, how good a pitcher he is, last year he worked at one time 45 scoreless innings, missing Carl Hubbell's record by 1 1/3 innings. He has a curve that Kiner and Musial even think is the sharpest in the National League. Here's Cox almost halfway in. Hodges rushes in. Magley bunts. Foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Giant hopes looking right at the moment dark as the inside of an inkwell. They trail 1-0. It's early in the ball game. Niagara Falls Nuggets, Sal Magley, with 13 savvy years of campaigning on his shoulders, riding the National League pennant for the Giants today. It's on the broad back of Don Newcomb for the Brooklyn Dodgers, ace against ace. So for all these crippled, ailing pitching staff, as I remarked, somehow Dresden and DeRocher were able to muster 2 20-game winners for this game today. Newcomb throws to first, not in time. Westrom gets back over there. It's all on the line. Either team has the magic number 1 today. Turns around, throws to second, and it is in time for a force out at second. As Westrom went barreling in there, upset Pee Wee Reed, upending as Reed Sweely went high in the air and somersaulted, but held on to the ball. A force out at second base as Newcomb made the ball players play. If he had not made it good, if Westrom had been safe at second base on what was a very close call down there, well, there might have been some more heads roll as the result of this ball game, but Newcomb, taking the bit in his teeth, went for the ball player's play. The one in which you live or die, and got his man at second, 1-6. Magley safe at first on a fielder's choice, no sacrifice bunt. The batter is Little Stanky, the Brat, number 12, diminutive second baseman of the New York Giants. Outfield jagged, short and right, short and center, deep and left. Outfield, the infield, up in double play depth. The Stanky watches high for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. The score 1-0 in favor of the Brooklyn Dodgers. On deck after Stanky will come Alvin Dark. Dark. Everything riding here. Giant base running cost him a threat. The pitch, taken outside. 2 balls and no strikes on Stanky, who, as I told you earlier, makes the walk an offensive weapon. It's a major weapon of attack with him. He leads the National League in base on balls. DeRocher trots down to talk to Stanky, who immediately gets out of the batter's box and meets his pilot halfway down the line. Leo the Lip, a great admirer of Stanky, who always wanted him after he'd left Brooklyn. The first thing that Leo did after he got to the New York Giants was to negotiate a tremendous trade with the Boston Braves, in which the Braves took Walker Cooper, Sid Gorton, Willard Marshall, and in exchange surrendered Eddie Stanky and Alvin Dark. The Braves also in that transaction got Red Webb. Ed Stanky, feet close together, well away from the plate, choke hitting right-hander, the outfield shaded to the left, the infield pull to the left. Reese, halfway up, stride toward third. There's the ball hit fair down the third base line. Catches that, throws to second, one to throw first. Play hit into by Stanky, 5-4-3, as Billy Cox, as sure-fisted a glove man as ever played third base for a baseball team, made a sparkling backhand stop on a hard-hit ground ball just inside fair territory on the third baseline. Pinwheeled, whipped to Robinson covering second for the out there. Jackie's pinwheel and so back to first was in time for the out. Cox, one of the most underrated third stackers in the major league. Giants go down in order in the third inning despite the leadoff walk to Weston. No run. No hit, no errors, nobody left on base. At the end of 3, here in the frantic Polo Grounds, as these two teams desperately battle for that tri-corner piece of flannel worth $5,000 to every player, the score is Brooklyn 1, the New York Giants nothing. Here's Sal Magley working on Jack Robinson, who twists away from the ball 1 after taking a strike, 1-1. 1-1. All set to go. The pitch is inside for ball 2. I said a moment ago that Cooper was in the dark stanky deal. He wasn't. The trade was dark and stanky for Gordon, Marshall, Buddy Kerr, and Red Webb. Cooper came to the Braves from the Reds in the Connie Ryan transaction. Jack Robinson waits. 1-2 pitch. Ball 3 outside. 3-1. Jackie Robinson, Dodgers pigeon-toed second baseman, fleet-footed, dusky flash of lightning, right-hand hitter. Mickey Owens' muff was probably the World Series greatest skull, if you can call that a skull. That was just a miss. But here today, we've seen one in playoff history. There's one hit back over the head of the pitcher. Over his field, Stanky stumbles, throws, off-balance to first in time for the out. Little Stanky almost lost his footing as he stumbled backward after picking up a ground ball off Jackie Robinson's bat, which Stanky had snuffed out on the short hop. He got it to first base to Lockman, a step and a half in front of the fleet-footed and really ginning Jackie Robinson. 4-3 for the out. Andy Pafko on deck. Gil Hodges down in the hole. First half of the fourth, 1-0. The Brooklyn Dodgers over the New York Giants. A pitch missing the outside corner. Jackie Robinson's first inning single in the hole, which sent Reese roaring from second in home. Right now is the important blow. The blow which has Magley behind. 1-0. Sal comes down with it. Strike call the outside corner. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. The infield is heavy, almost wet. The outfield has very soft and soggy footing also. A slow diamond. The infield damp. The skin of the infield shows that. It rained during the game yesterday. I'm sure you're familiar with that and we're listening. Field covered with tarpaulin, but it's still damp. And the heavy mist overhead having an effect on the footing. That's swinging a drive foul down the left field line. Foul by 4 inches, not more. Andy Pafko in a rifle shot, lightning bolt, foul down that left field line. That skimmed within 4 inches of the line. It was almost on. So the Dodgers, for whom hopes were black with despair yesterday afternoon early, find a silver lining in the cloud. They repulsed the Giants yesterday, 10-0. Today, meeting Magley, the man whose name strikes black fear in Brooklyn hearts, they lead him 1-0 in this desperate fighting of the Battle of Coogan's Bluff. The final game, the payoff. The pitch to Magley, to Pafko from Magley, breaking low outside, almost down in the dirt. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now Magley takes his time, glancing into Western, who's down again, shielding his signs to Chuck Dresden. A good sign stealer at third. Jake Pittler is at first. Magley throws. Pafko swings, and the bat goes flying out of his hand, hurtling down the third baseline where Bobby Thompson picks it up and throws it back over to a Brooklyn bat boy who will return it. The Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Giants in the baseball end-all, the real end-all. DeRocher yesterday gambled as though it were a meaningless exhibition. If it were his idea to save his good pitchers for the series, he may have to wait a year at least because he's got Newcomb today as they shoot for the role. But that, of course, was not his idea. Not at all. For people second-guessing DeRocher, consider that if he had started Magley yesterday, Sal would have been wasted. The pitch, Pafko cuts and misses, and strikes out swinging. 2 up and 2 down. A lot of people have said that Leo should have started Magley yesterday. But it would have been a total waste of Leo's first-line pitcher because against Levine yesterday, not even Walter Johnson at his best could have helped the Giants left. They'd have just been wasting Magley against a kid throwing a shutout. Magley or anybody else wouldn't have beaten Levine yesterday. Now, as it is, he's at least got a fairly well-rested ace ready for this biggest game of the year. Magley was tight yesterday, said he wasn't ready. Even Dresden said he would have done the same thing that DeRocher had done. The pitch. There's one cut at and missed by the right-handed hitter. Hodges going around for it. Out on the mound, Sal Magley, who has had 3 days of rest, and that's generally enough for him. Don Newcomb had 5 2/3 innings of pitching on Sunday. The pitch. Got out and missed again on a weak swing by Hodges, who tried to ignore the pitch at the last moment, but too far through on his swing. Catching today for the Dodgers is Rube Walker, who had 3 hits there yesterday and who was subbing for Roy Campanella. Campanella pulled a hamstring muscle in his right leg. He's taking a freezing spray rather than injection, but they're not deadening the pain, Roy says. 2 out, Hodges at bat. 2 strikes on the big fellow. Magley throws it down. Gill beats a weak roller down to the third baseman. Thompson freezes it, arches his throw. He's got it coming out.
hits, no errors, nobody left on base in the first half of the fourth inning. And Sal Magley settling down now to the brilliance which we are accustomed to seeing in Magley, has retired 11 batters in a row since Jackie Robinson hit his one-run single with one out in the first inning. Magley has been airtight, freezer compartment tight, since he opened in the first inning and allowed Robinson the hit and Reese the run. We'll go into the last of the fourth now. The Giants will have up the fat part of their batting list: Alvin Dock, Don Mueller, and Whitey Lockman. We'll pause now. 45 seconds. The score is the Brooklyn Dodgers 1, the New York Giants 0. Well, it would be very hard to guess on the play on Bobby Thompson, the second inning skull on the part of the New York Giants, as to who fouled it up, because from where our press box is, you simply could not tell whether Bobby got the sign to go on down to second or went on down to second on his own. But certainly the fault will either rest with Bobby Thompson or with Freddie Fitzsimmons or Leo DeRocher, one of those three. Doc, 304 hitter. Newcomb on the hill. Al Walker down behind the plate. Al waits for the pitch. Popped out the third on a first pitch, first out in the first inning. He takes a ball one over there. In 1948, Alvin Dock fired the Boston Braves to a pennant. By natural temperament, he is a leader. Former lieutenant in the Marines. Newcomb offers. Dock swings, rifles the drive, slug foul down the third base line, whistling over the head of Larry Getz, who worked balls and strikes here yesterday. And in again, after tapping mud off his spikes, comes Alvin Dock, one of the greatest all-around athletes in Louisiana State University history. They still talk about his work for Louisiana State University against Fordham. And by the way, Liberty is this afternoon making arrangements to bring you this Saturday night the game between the undefeated Bengals of Louisiana State and the Rice Institute Owls. Newcomb pitches. Alvin Dock swings, pops one high into the air. Jackie Robinson drifts back on the grass, getting under it, waiting. He's got it. Jackie Robinson swallowing a high pop-up from Alvin Dock, who leads off the fourth inning. And Newcomb, aside from a bad second inning, is also settling down. There have been 3 hits, 2 off Newcomb, 1 off Sal Magley. Now comes Don Mueller, Mandrake, a power-hitting left-hander who has the wind in his favor, blowing out a crosswind toward right, from left to right. Third baseman is up close. Reese halfway up, Robinson deep on the right side as Mueller looks at one, pumped outside by Don Newcomb. Big giant right-hander. Newcomb on the hill. Louisiana State and Rice being set up to broadcast for you on Saturday night. Liberty has 6 football games a weekend. Remember to stay tuned in to your Liberty stations for LBS, a large bundle of sports. Newcomb throws in too close. Ball 2, 1 out. Mueller batting. Don kicks and fires. Mueller swings as the line drive. Hopkins goes high into the air with a leaping catch. Down the first baseline, a sizzling, searing liner that Gil Hodges left his feet for and brought down with a jack-in-the-box catch. He came way high in the air as though he had coils of springs in his feet. Now here's Monty Irvin, leading runs batted inner in the National League. Right-hand hitter. The outfield stands far to the left. Infield toward third. Newcomb throws him down, and Irvin looks it over. High and wide for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Pervasive gloom and depression over the Polo Grounds, Rooters. Dodgers fans wild with enthusiasm in the desperate fighting at Coogan's Bluff. Newcomb kicks. Big right-hander, overarms it. Monty Irvin moves back away from the chin-high pitch. Another dramatic page in Polo Grounds history. Irvin with 2 out. The base is empty. Is batting. Robinson over near second. Reese halfway between third and second. Giants in the Valley of the Shadow, trailing 1-0. Last of the fourth inning. Newcomb throwing down. Irvin takes it upstairs. 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. These 2 teams struggling down through the year. Blazing, shining, stumbling, faltering, blazing, shining again. Finally coming down here to the last day when only 1 game matters. When you can forget everything else, this is the only one. We're starting all over. Newcomb pitches. Irvin swings. Hopping ball down to Cox, who freezes it. Throws in time for the out at first. No run, no hit, no errors, nobody left on. and we are at the end of 4 quick 1-hour innings in the Polo Grounds. Going into the 5th inning here at the PG in New York, site of baseball's third game of a playoff. The score is the Brooklyn Dodgers 1, the New York Giants nothing. Brooklyn 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on. The New York Giants, no runs, 2 second-inning singles, backed up by Lockman and Thompson, no errors, and 1 man left on base. And now out comes the leadoff Brooklyn batter, Billy Cox, who made a fine stop to start a double play on Eddie Stanky, with Don Newcomb about to get in trouble in the 3rd inning. There have been 3 interesting points in this game so far. Magley's slight nervousness at the start. That's just an assumption on my part, since I have no way of knowing, but he did appear that for the first time since in all the times I've ever seen him, he might be just the slightest bit of twitter. He missed the corners on Reese, walked him with 1 away. Snyder was also walked, and then Robinson singled. That brought home a run. Then in the Giants inning, Bobby Thompson. There's a pitch, bunted along the first base line by Cox. Up the goal, and Magley picks up the ball, shoots one, low to first, that hits Cox on the leg. And that's the second time that a ball has hit a runner here in 2 days. They're going to call him out at first base, or they're going to call it safe at first base on a hit. Hit at first base. Yesterday, when Magley threw to first base, he hit when Sheldon Jones threw to first, he hit Hodges in the small of the back. And here now, Magley hits Billy Cox, who beats out a leadoff front hit. George Spencer. It was Spencer who hit Hodges yesterday, and not Jones. A left-hand hitter at the plate, Rube Walker. Magley tugs at his cap. Shoeless Joe Jackson hit the first homer over the right field roof here. Rube Walker duplicated it yesterday afternoon. There's a swing and a miss. The monumental Titanic homer that Walker hit yesterday. Joe Jackson was the first ever to do it. Shoeless Joe smothering pressure on the New York Giants. We pause for station identification 5 seconds. We'll do it after this next pitch. Magley taking the sign now. New York Giant right-hander looks to his runner at first. Cox throws down, cut on and missed for strike 2. Now 5 seconds to play that this is Liberty. Back at baseball, whether in the Polo Grounds, in that Battle of Coogan's Bluff, on the black, swirling waters of the Harlem River, the New York Giants facing an aroused Brooklyn Dodgers that has come back from the Valley of the Shadow. Won yesterday 10-0, leads today by a score of 1-0. The light's shining, but the heavens overhead are brightening up all the time. Al Walker, the batter. Magley offers. Al swings and misses for strike 3. For Magley, the Barber has now recorded 5 strikeouts in his first 5 innings. The batter will be Newcomb with Cox on first, Alvin Dark and Eddie Stanky in double play depth. Around us, the Flatbush faithful, 25,000 of them, oohing and eyeing at their high tide of devotion and pride. Tide of battle in the National League, which has been for so many weeks, ebbing and then falling. A moment victory in sight. The next moment, disaster at hand. Finally down to the last game where nothing else matters. Magley checks Cox. Bunting at it is Newcomb. Starts. It gets away from him. Goes for strike 1. And holding on at first base as Western is able to retrieve the ball in time is the runner Billy Cox. Would you call this a Cold War? A war of nerves? That's certainly one way of putting it. Out on the mound, inscrutable Sal Magley. His face, an unreadable blank. A man of no nerves. An old outlaw campaigner at Drummondville and at Tampico, brought back from the Mexican leagues by Chandler's amnesty. Magley offers. They charge in for the bunt. It escapes Wes Western as Newcomb fouls it off, beats his bat into the ground in disgust. Big Don from Leonia, New Jersey, 6'4", 220-pounder. Mrs. John McGraw on hand. Ford Frick, new commissioner. Warren Giles, the new president of the National League. William Harridge, Prexy of the American League. Joey Lewis, Douglas and Mrs. MacArthur. Many, many others. Who's who here this afternoon in earnest. Dizzy Dean is here. He'll be heard nationally for the first time next year. The old Cardinal pitcher, you know. Dizzy has reached the metallic age. Gold in his teeth, silver in his hair, lead in his feet. Still around, though. Magley throwing Newcomb. Don takes left-hand batter. Wide, ball 1, 1-2, after trying to bunt twice and going to strikes both times. Tommy Holmes here, the manager of the Boston Braves, sitting behind a post. No doubt arranged by Harold Parrott of the Brooklyn Dodgers. Good hitting pitcher, Don. Swings, hits a rap to the right side. Beautifully backhanded to Lockman, who throws in time to Dark for a forced out at second base. That was a fine fielding play by one of the game's great natural fielders, Whitey Lockman. Transplanted outfielder who raced to his right on the rim of the infield grass. Took a bounding hopper from Don Newcomb, who gets first on a fielder's choice, and then, looking to first base, saw that he could only make a play for fourth and second base and got Cox there. Lockman to Dark, 3-6. Now the Giants have Newcomb on first, 2 away, and the batter is Carl Furillo. The New York Giants lead this ball game trail this ball game 1-0 with 2 out. Furillo batting. That hit off Magley, by the way, broke a skein of 11 straight batters retired. Magley has now retired 13 out of the last 14 men who have faced him. Furillo, right-hand hitter. Third time in 4 days the Dodgers trying to avoid it. Magley throws it down. Cold-hearted Fowles curveball is hit out toward left field. Weak drooping liner in passes. Irvin gets there and makes the catch for the out. On a good racing catch, he was laid way back for a pull-hitting right-hander, way back toward the wall at a country mile, put on a full head of steam, and came roaring in to get it. The Dodgers, despite a lead-off base hit by Billy Cox, go down with no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and they left one man racing his motors out at first base. At the end of 4.5 innings of play here in the Polo Grounds in New York, the Brooklyn Dodgers 1, the New York Giants 0. Folks, you'll get deep down satisfaction with premium quality Falstaff, true premium quality beer. Only premium quality hops and grains are ever used. Take a sip of Falstaff, taste it, and you'll say, Falstaff's got something. Fans, it's got something for you. A famous flavor for your extra pleasure. Top baseball entertainment for your extra enjoyment. Brewed by the Falstaff Brewing Corporation of St. Louis, Omaha, and New Orleans. Right now, you can be adding plenty to your enjoyment of this game by just taking the wraps off a bottle of Frosty Falstaff. Or, better still, if you don't have any on hand, make it a point. Once the ball game is over, we won't ask you to do it during the game. Get in the jalopy, go down and buy a case of Falstaff, which is premium quality through and through. It's got something. Falstaff, choicest product of the brewer's art. Falstaff, the beer that brings you baseball. Relative to the auctioning of the baseballs of last Saturday and Sunday at Braves Field in Boston, we have now good news for you. We're going to be able to supply an autographed baseball for every person who sends in a check covering his bid, the amount of which is known to all of you. Make the check payable to the Jimmy Fund, care of the Boston Braves, Braves Field, Boston, Massachusetts. So everybody that bid, by sending in a check for the amount of his bid, can get a ball actually used in the game on Saturday. That is, the first 10 people who get balls actually used. We got all the balls we could that were used in the games, and then the rest of those people, after the first 10, will get balls which are autographed by the New York Giants and the Boston Braves. So send in your check, Jimmy Fund, care of the Boston Braves, Braves Field in Boston, and you'll get your baseball. Whitey Lockman leads off. Wonder what's going on in Leo's head. Last half of the 5th inning, drama everywhere. String is run out in the National League. Newcomb rocks the big right-hander, brings it down, lays in a strike off the letters. Strike 1. Snyder and Hodges seem to have been coming out of their slumps yesterday. Robinson says the Duke hadn't been swinging right and was yesterday for the first time. Pitch, giving ground on it is Whitey Lockman. Ball 1, 1-1. Giants trying to get a runner on here. Get something started if they can. Lockman, like Mel Ott, was a Polo Grounds figure before he was 20. Everybody thought he was through after a multiple ankle fracture in 47. Back he came to the headlines. Takes strike call. Outside corner whistling curve. Terrell Whitey Lockman from Charlotte, North Carolina, the Warhawk. Facing Big Don Newcomb, the giant right-hander of the Brooklyn Dodgers. Tommy Holmes' family being threatened. He lives in the Bay Ridge section of Brooklyn. Brooklyn fans threatening him for having knocked the Dodgers almost out of the pennant race last year. Lockman hits a whistling ground ball, takes a nasty hop, reach, stop, throw, down, Fuji now.
Well, let's see. Wee Reed is playing in the last couple of days a fine defensive ball as you'll ever see a shortstop play. There was a wicked one-hopper hit to him, sliced viciously off the bat of left-hand hitting Whitey Lockman, veering to the left side at a mile-a-minute clip. It took a nasty kick, Englished up high, almost over Reese's head, but with a sudden, almost automatic motion, Reese jerked his glove hand up, seemed to have a perception that the ball was going to do that, pulled it down and threw him out. Franco Worms in the Dodger bullpen. Newcomb throws, Thompson swings, hits the grounder inside third base, bad territory. Here's Bobby around first, whistling for second base. Good throw to second, he dives. Edward belly buster, safe for a double. Bobby Thompson, who was no doubt being blamed for a Babe Herman skull in the second inning by many fans, when it may or may not have been the fault of the New York Giants coaches, redeemed himself to glory in the hearts of the New York Giants fans with a sizzling one-foot fair third baseline double out along the left field line inside Bill Cox, who, as good a glove man as he is, couldn't get that one with a dive at it. Thompson streaked into second and hit a belly whopper slide in front of Jackie Robinson's tag, which was put on his head as he came in. Not in time. Thompson had his arms spread out, and he went off into second base just like you'd go off a diving board, belly busting in. He's in there, scoring position at second. The batter is Willie Mays. One out. The Dodgers lead by a score of 1-0 in the sudden death finale. Curtain call in the National League. Don Newcomb looks down, checking Bobby at second base. The pitch to Willie is high inside for ball one. Now both Branca and Erskine are up heating up in the Dodger bullpen. The Giant hurlers have sat down. Mantley appears in complete control now. Newcomb's pitch to the right-hander. Willie cuts and fouls up a burning fast pitch. He had Willie swinging late on that one. Such was the velocity with which Newcomb threw that one in. That had smoke all over it. Yesterday, Charlie Dressen and the Dodgers brought to mind a great incident. A Dodger pitching staff exhausted and riddled, their most valuable player, Campanella, out of the lineup, just 1 defeat away. Pitching worn down to enough. Hitters and fielders weary beyond their years. And he brought to mind a great adage. Newcomb throws, where Mays cuts and fouls it off at his feet. Roy Campanella was crippled. The whole club was decimated. So Charlie Dressen reminded of that historic statement of Marshal Foch, the commander of the Allied forces in the First World War. You remember then, when things were at their worst, the Marshal put down in his order, he said, "My center is giving away, my right is pushed back, my left is wavering. The situation is excellent, I shall attack." So he did, and under the same baseball circumstances, so has Dressen yesterday and today. Newcomb in tough shape, with Thompson down at second, 1 out. Reese and Robinson bluffing him back to the bag. Mays swings, swings. Now out trots Dressen to talk to Don Newcomb about how he's going to pitch to Wes Westrom, the batter coming up. Maybe perhaps to tell him that they want to walk Westrom and get to Magley. The strategy on this one will be forthcoming immediately. Newcomb, who pitched 5 2/3 innings Sunday, being relieved in the 13th with 2 on and 2 out, had brilliant fielding. They had but 1 hit off of him, but he walked 6. He was out there to battle Robin Roberts and save the Brooklyn Dodger pennant. He, like Rowe, has been complaining of a sore arm. Rowe, you know,
who, if the Dodgers win this one, may or may not start the first game of the World Series tomorrow, didn't survive the second inning with 2 days rest. They're going to walk Westrom. That was what Dresden was going out to tell Newcomb. They're walking Westrom in order to get to Magley, knowing that the Giants cannot afford to relieve Smiling Sal, the Niagara Falls Nugget. Sal Magley with 23 and 6 will be the next batter as Magley, hitting 155, will come up the moment Westrom is walked. Here's Newcomb turns around, making Bobby Thompson hustle back into second base after the 3-0 pitch out. Magley had a base hit up in Boston on Saturday. It was a very valuable blow on his own behalf. And now they're telling Leo DeRocha to get back in the coaching box at third base. He's out of it. He's still standing on the edge, though, and now Leo DeRocha, after the ball 4 is pitched, is coming down the line in order to talk to Sal Magley. Westrom walked. Giants have the tying run at second base, the go-ahead run on first base with Magley, the barber, hitting. Sal has lathered the bricks 5 out of 6 times this season. 5 out of 6. Carl Erskine, who was warming in the bullpen, went the route for Brooklyn on Friday night. This is Newcomb's 3rd call in 5 days, his 4th call in 8 days. He is 5-2 against the New York Giants this season, 0-1 to Sal Magley. Magley is 5-1 against the Brooklyn Dodgers. They've beaten him but once. Giants playing on the same field for more than 60 years. Magley the batter. Newcomb pitches. Sal swings at the dribbling grounder down to Reese, who eats it out, throws to first. He got him in the books. They're out of the jam. They beat the rap. 6-3. Magley had a slow hopping grounder, a skipper of 2 hops down to Reese, who trapped the ball on the half hop, came up, sizzled it to Hodges for the out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 men left on base. And now, moving into the 6th inning here at the Polo Grounds in New York, as time grows short for the desperately reaching Giants, the score is the Brooklyn Dodgers 1, the New York Giants 0. Well, if you could write the script for this one, how would you write it? If you were a Hollywood writer and say, Dory Sherry, the director of production of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, came to you and said, write me a script for a great baseball picture. I want it to be the most thrilling baseball picture that you can imagine. What would you write? Why bother? Why not just copy the 1951 National League race? Wouldn't that be better than the most imaginative scenario writer could possibly drum up? I'm sure it would. This is the end of plots. Well, out goes Magley for the Giants, trying to turn back the Dodgers another time. The name Giants came from the 1883 Giant team. They were very big men there in the twilight gaslight era. The first Giant manager, Jim Mutry, roared out at the big fellas one day, come on, you Giants. And from that time on, they were Giants. Reese, striding, takes strike call on the outside corner. Wheaties scoreboard will follow the game. That fellow Jim Mutry won the first 2 Giant pennants. Bill Terry won 3 and John McGraw 15. Magley arches his back, throws, strike 2 called over the outside corner. Sal, but for that first inning, lapse in control, and it may have been a fatal error. Has been superb, masterful, perfect. My regards to my good friend Robert Lee out in Los Angeles. Magley throws. Pee Wee Reese takes a shade outside, 1-2. First waste pitch from Magley. I bet most of you didn't know that the spawning grounds of these Brooklyn Dodgers, the borough of Brooklyn, is as big as Chicago, 88 8/10 square miles, 2,800,000 people. Magley works down to the right-hander, and Reese watches strike 3. It's on the outside corner. Brilliant curveball, broken off, swept across the outside corner as Pee Wee just stood there with an open-mouthed face. Over here from beautiful scenic Brooklyn, 25,000 madly roaring rooters. That name of Brooklyn came from Breukelen, spelled B-R-E-U-C-K-E-L-E-N. It's the Netherlands village, and it means broken land. The Dodgers today are in one piece, though, still, miraculously. There's a swing and a drive, left field way, hustling over for it is Irvin, but this will be in for a Dodger base hit. Snyder rounds first base, and will come back in as Irvin makes his play back to second. It's a Dodger base hit. They've one on with one away, and Jackie Robinson is again the batter.
So here is the Dodger hatchet man, Jackie Robinson, and some of the Giant fans booing. Booing Robinson is as dangerous as hunting a gas leak with a match. He responds to it, something in his chemistry that won't take it. The outfield off to the left side, infield in double play depth. Sal Magley on the hill, breezes it outside for ball one. One out, one on. The one up is Jackie Robinson. Hitting right now. Smiling Sal Magley, the batter, has yielded 3 hits this ball game, trails at 1-0 with a pennant squarely on the line. Magley into the windup now. Comes down with a pitch, taken outside. Speaking of the birds being on the field, Red Smith made a great remark in his column today when he said there were birds on the field here yesterday, always lit behind pitcher Levine, because they knew the Giants were at bat and they were safe. Levine shut him out 10-0 yesterday in a brilliant rookie exhibition. 1 on, 1 out. The batter is Robinson. 2 balls on him. He's got to lay it in. Throws high outside. Pitch out. The run on his way to second. The throw. There he is. Out the field. Snyder streaks for second on a pitch out. The Giants have to steal dope. Precious that it was going to take place. And Westrom, who made 2 great pegs to second base day before yesterday in the opening game of the series to snuff out prospective Dodger runners with it varsity in their hearts, makes the third one here today. And on Jackie Robinson, 2-4, it's the out. Robbie swings, hits a liner up along the left field line, which goes way foul. It was hit hard enough and far enough for a home run, but was not in there. The big pitch here yesterday was a low sweeping curve on which Bobby Thompson struck out in the third with the bases full. After that, you knew that Levine was going to ride that lead home. It was a bad pitch, by the way. You'll remember it. Bases full, Thompson up, 3-2 pitch. If Thompson had let it go by, it would have been a base on balls and a run walked in. Even Levine admitted that. The pitch taken inside, and Jackie Robinson is on first with 2 away. Now they've got to watch him very closely because Robinson is one of baseball's most accomplished stealers. With Andy Pafko up here, he'd like to go to second in scoring position. Photographers were busy taking picture of the Robinsons, Jackie and Sugar Ray, before the ball game to show you the feeling that is existent in this National League clutch playoff. Just before the ball game, they were ministering to Eddie Stanky on a rubbing table in the Giants' dressing room. He was spiked by Jethro in Boston in the weekend series. Spiked himself going down to first base yesterday. He's got his feet tangled up. He had 2 nasty gashes on his shin bone. I asked Eddie, I said, Eddie, you going to be able to play today? He just looked down at his leg and he said, is it broken? The outfield, deep off to the left, fammed away. Jackie Robinson at first base, leading, dancing down the line, trying to nettle Magley. Sal checks his runner. Cold-blooded, unemotional Sal. Pafko backs out of the batter's box. Magley keeping a close watch on Jackie Robinson, trying to keep the short holder on him, realizing that Robinson will do anything to get down to second base, and is an accomplished stealer. Magley checks Robinson now, throws down to the batter. Pafko swings, pumps a fly up along the left field line, foul. It's going toward the upper deck and will go up on top, out of play. People had about formed the impression up to yesterday that the Giants could not lose. When they did lose yesterday, it was a beaut. 10-0. They were long overdue, though. Some of the Giants supporters around this morning very worried for fear the Giants' luck had at long last run out. 1-0 in favor of the Brooklyn Dodgers on a first inning single to left by Jack Robinson, scoring Reese, who had walked in front from second base. Magley checks Robinson at first base. Sal looking over there. Jackie jockeying back and forth. Magley, finally, unnerved, throws to first base. Not in time. There was a cat and mouse game between Jackie Robinson, jiggling back and forth up and down, jumping in that peculiar ballet dance motion of his to rattle a pitcher. Finally, Magley, unable to bear the pressure through to first base, delivers to the batter again. Swung on and missed by Pafko for strike 2. He went out for an outside pitch that time, down low. At the plate, Andy Pafko, his confederate, Jackie Robinson on first base. Button bright lights shining above. Cool, murky afternoon overhead, but lightening up as the afternoon wears on. People shedding their coats, A lot of shirt sleeve fans sitting below us in the stands, cram-packed. Robinson, the Dodger hatchet man at first. Tapco swings, skies one up into the air. Coming down the line is Whitey Lockman. He waits. He's got it. The side is retired for Brooklyn in the sixth inning as Sal Magley once again survives the onslaught and gets past him with no run, one hit. The Dodgers' third of this sixth inning ball game, no errors and one left on. At the end of 5 1/2 innings here at the Polo Grounds in New York, the Brooklyn Dodgers won, the New York Giants nothing. Brooklyn 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, 4 men left on base. The New York Giants, no runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 3 men left on base. Here's Eddie Stanky to lead off with Alvin Dark to follow and Don Mueller down in the hole as the last half of the sixth inning will get underway. There are reports that Hornsby and O'Doul have been approached for Charlie Dresden's job, but everybody close to Dodger management deny that. That's just one of the many rumors that goes around. Lights still shining, tons of hot dogs, coffee, and peanuts being consumed. Hank Greenberg, Joe Cronin, Bucky Walters, Stan Lingo, Mungo, Luke Sewell, Billy Sullivan, Miss Dan Topping, Miss John McGraw, Dolly Stark, all here. Right-hand hitter Eddie Stanky, the brat, leading off for the New York Giants. Last of the sixth, and Eddie would like to draw base on balls here, which is his major weapon of attack. He starts the ball rolling, the pot boiling. Don Newcomb throws, and Stanky swings up the dying wheel down the left field line. Speeding in towards Tapco, run. He's got it. Stanky in a little short blooper, one of those handle hits, leaping Lena liner in the hole or over the hole between Cox and Reese into short left field. Andy Papko racing in, reached up, hauled it in for the out, and Stanky is away in the last half of the sixth inning. In case you're looking down the line, Newcomb has 11 outs to go. Alvin Dark is the batter, former great Louisiana State University athlete, and this network, as I've told you, is making arrangements with one of the best sportscasters in the nation, Lindsey Nelson, to bring you play-by-play the LSU Rice game this Saturday night. Both teams are undefeated. Frank and Erskine warming up again. Dark reaches, takes strike call. 0-1. Alvin Dark batting from Lake Charles, Louisiana, number 19. Say, how would you write a lead on this game? How would you write a lead? What would you say to encompass the drama of this game in one paragraph? The pitch outside. I remember the greatest lead I ever read was one written by Damon Runyon. He sat down one day. A little fella had confessed on the stand inadvertently, and he sat down and wrote that a little man sat on a little chair in a little courthouse today and quietly talked himself to death. There's a foul ball hit up into the stands by Alvin Dark to the left side, well out of play. Dark banging one down the left field line, which twisted foul. Somebody nearly hit a fan along first base with a Coke bottle from the upper stand a moment ago. He could have got 10 points for that. Newcomb down, too high on Dark for a 2-2 count with one away. The Giants desperate, struggling for breath in the National League. 1-0 behind here. Brooklyn 1, the New York Giants nothing. Last half of the sixth inning. Now Don Newcomb into the windup. The Giant right-hander cuts it down, planks it in. Dark swings, hits one off the hole. Oh, I shot by Cox off the first. He got it. Great save. So the great Billy Cox, playing great ball, makes the second saving stop of the afternoon. He got Stanky in the third inning on a double play stop inside the third base line. Here he does it again to Alvin Dark to make a second out in the sixth inning. And now, with 2 away, Don Mueller is going to be the batter. He swings, hits one down the first base line, foul, and it bounces toward the stands and out of play. The Dodgers written off 3 times in the National League, not yet dead. Run out, Mueller batting. 1-0 in favor of the Brooklyn Dodgers. Magley throwing the game this life, but so is Newcomb. Pennant riding with every pitch, and both these two teams. Mueller will be swinging for that fence, I imagine, with 2 away. The strategy here would be to swing for a long ball. Greatest of all the National League pennant races has now been carried just as far as it can go. Each time, each team has saved its
best bib and chucker for this last game. The sun trying to come out with the lights on. The pitch inside. 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Magley was 4-0 against the Brooks last year, 5-0 this year. Nuke is 4-3 against the Giants last year, 5-2 in this year. He's been beaten 2 out of his last 3 times out against the New York Giants, but today he is superb. Levine yesterday no-hitted the Giants the last 5 innings, so you can look and say that in the last 10 innings, the Giants have only had 3 hits off Brooklyn pitching. Newcomb works, delivering. Mueller swings, left the pop up to the right side. Coming over for it is first baseman Hodges. Under it, waiting. He's got it for the out. And will Don Newcomb be able to ride that first inning Robinson single home to victory in the National League? That becomes the burning question of the moment. More flaming as the minutes wear on. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on base. We'll go into the 7th. The 7th. Lucky for one of the 2 teams, perhaps, at the Polo Grounds with the score Brooklyn 1, the New York Giants nothing. Well, Dresden just asked Nuke how he felt, and we could see Don's head nod in the affirmative. Magley goes out to the hill with a 4-0 record against the Brooks last year, 5-1 this year, trailing 1-0 on a first inning base on balls to Reese, 1 following to Snyder, and Jackie Robinson's electrifying single in the hole. 7th inning of play, 40 home runs for the fellow up here. It's Gil Hodges, 270 hitter, outfield very deep, very much to the left. Magley twists the curveball too wide, 1 ball and no strikes. Down catching him, Wes Westrom, catching this afternoon for Brooks, Al Walker, whose performance for Campanella needs no apology. String is run out. Magley against Newcomb. Foul works. Hodges swings, and it's Nick Fowl back in the screen. Boy, the wondrous terms of endearment that must be going on between these 2 teams down there on the field with $5,000 riding on the line for each player. We pause 5 seconds. This is the Liberty Broadcasting System. Back it is to the Polo Grounds, New York, with Liberty's game of the day, the final game of the day this year, because it can't go any further. They'll play all night to get this one over. Sal Magley kicks, throws. Hodges swings, lets the tall, towering pop up. A weak, soft drink fly back at home. Weston tight-roping under it, boxes it in. 1 up and 1 down as Hodges pops to the catcher, and it is Billy Cox coming up now to see if he can write another page in his exploit book for this afternoon. He has made 2 fine fielding plays for the Brooklyn Dodgers, and along with Pee Wee Reese has been the big fielding gun. Let's listen to the applause for him. Here's Cox, who with Robinson has been the Dodger hatchet man today. He takes one inside. Well, Robinson single. Bobby Thompson race into second base with the base already occupied. The base on balls to Reese. The great stops by Cox and Reese. They're the highlights today. Billy takes ball 2 outside. 2 balls, no strikes. 2-0. String running out. Sands of time running down the National League race. Billy Cox takes inside. 3 balls, no strikes, 1 out. Cox the hitter, a good glove man. Bill Cox, number 3, right-hand hitter. Rowe, if he should go in the World Series tomorrow, if the Dodgers should win, which is a long presumption, has still a sore arm. Here's a strike over there for a 3-1 count. He's got sore in Philly. He needs much more rest than he's been getting. This is one of those grimy New York afternoons. Dirty, wash, water, gray clouds above. Clearing up a little. Magley's 3-1 ball. Down the heart for a called strike. Right down the pipe. Sal Magley, the unsmiling, unflinching giant hero of 23 victories on the mound for the Polo Grounders this afternoon. Great will be the rejoicing in Flatbush if Newcomb can ride it through, but Magley is down and into the 3-2 pitch hit down at the shortstop. Over his dark in perfect position, throws weakly to first in time for the out. That was almost a weak throw, but Dark looping it was right on the money with it. 2 up and 2 down. The batter will be left-hand hitting Rube Walker, who unleashed a monumental over the right field upper deck home run here yesterday to match the exploit of shoeless Joe Jackson low those many years ago. The barber still shaving with 2 away in the 7th inning, trailing 1-0. Blackwater to the Harlem River, back of the center field fence as Magley comes down through the murk with a ball 1 wide. 1 ball, no strike. Well, nothing has short-circuited this electric tension here today. Down at second, the cameo-sized second baseman, Stanky, calling to Magley, who throws. Ball two. Strike one over the outside corner. That caught it. One Dodger fan walked up to the bleacher line about 10 this morning, almost hidden by a 5-foot-high funeral piece of dahlias and gladiolas. It was draped in a black ribbon. Lettered in gold was the sentiment, sympathy to the Giants. Magley throws high and wide. Ball two, 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Quicksand finale. One wrong step and down you go for keeps. New York and Brooklyn tied 97 wins and 59 losses apiece. Lights on. Magley looking down. Magic number for either team now 1. The batter with 2 away. Left-hander Rube Walker, who swings, hits a bounding foul down past the first base coach Jake Pitler up against the stands and out of play. Out beyond, out of play. So the New York Giants here, battling, embattled, beleaguered, 1-0 behind. The first half of the 7th inning, the Giants will be up in the last half of the 7th inning. A tough ball game for both these pitchers. It'll be a heartbreaker for anybody who loses this one. Dodgers at the moment look happy as a pair of fleas in a dog pound. 2 and 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Rube Walker, the batter. Right-hander's pitch. Walker cuts it one in the hole as Whitey Lockett goes racing over for it, but can't reach it. And round first, as fast as a prairie schooner pulled by a gopher, goes Rube Walker. Don Newcomb is the batter now. Newcomb, the Dodgers' money winner, top slinger, huge man, hard worker, and a strikeout pitcher is up from Madison, New Jersey. Good hitting pitcher, often works in the bullpen between games, between starts. All-star star of 49 and 50, 6 feet 4, 220 pounds, left-hand hitter Don. Catcher Westrom down in catching position now. The outfield is short. In the Polo Grounds, every batter is a home run threat with the short fences. Magley works it down. Newcomb hits a sharp sparkler down to Eddie St. Jude. Donald picks up, throws quickly in time to first base. That's all he had to do because Newcomb had given it up rushing down the line. And they're booing Don as he walks back to the pitching mound right now because he didn't run that one out. Sankey had bobbled, but even had Don been at full tilt, he could not possibly have beaten to first base. 4-3. That's the out. Sankey to Lockett. No runs, 1 Brooklyn bingo. Lanced to right by Rube Walker. No errors. And Rube left spinning his wheels at first. Now, as we go down toward the final moment. The tip, the limit, the last jagged edge of the National League race. The score is 1 for the Brooklyn Dodgers, 0 for the New York Giants. Here's the right-hander Newcomb facing cleanup hitter Marty Irvin. Giant fans applauding for a rally, clapping hopefully. Marty Irvin crouches. Newcomb feeds. Heeled off for a strike on the hip. Marty Irvin, originally an outfielder, but played a lot of first base for the Giants. Now back in left, lots of power. 6'1", 195 pounds. Leading runs batted in are the New York Giants, for that matter, in the National League also. A double-tied deep dish doozer in the Polo Grounds. Irvin swings, has a line along the left field line. Castro comes over. Is off the wall. Castro plays it. Irvin around first. Streaking for second. It's going to be close there. The throw is a wide throw. And Jackie Robinson saves a diving stop at second to keep it from going to 3 bases. And now the crowd mad with excitement. You could give anybody in this crowd now a saliva test and they couldn't pass it. Irvin countered a double off the left field seat, fouled by Andy Pasco. I know that's going to be called a double. He threw back to second base. Irvin did. It was a wild throw. Jackie Robinson, going way over on the first base side of second and back near the grass, left his feet in a back-arching, belly-busting dive, hit on his chest, stopped the ball with his glove stretched out in front of him, kept Irvin from going to third. He's second now. Whitey Lockett batting, tying run at second. Whitey takes shade outside for a ball 1. 1-0. The official paid attendance is only 34,320 held out for the weather, but there must be at least 15,000 in addition to that who are here on Annie Oakley's.
until Whitey Lockman's blonde, tall, rangy outfielder standing deep in the box, feet close together. Newcomb checks Irvin. He throws, and it is bunted. Off home plate. It's going to be called down. Play to third. It's bunted. Lockman is at first. There was a ball player's play. Lockman gets a fielder's choice. Newcomb came over, elected for the try at third. The desperate gambling chance to knock off that lead runner who represents the potential tying run. But Matty Irvin beats the throw on a close airline decision at third, which the Dodgers do not protest. Newcomb came in for the bunt, which was still right in front of home plate. I thought for a moment it might be foul, and he hit the plate, but wasn't. Lockman straight at first fielder's choice. Irvin is down at third. Bobby Thompson is the hitter. Erskine and Frank are tuning up the Dodger bullpen. Nobody unlimbering in the Giants bullpen. This crowd, awfully excited now. Here's Bobby Thompson. They throw to third base for Matty Irvin, but he's standing on the bag. There was an attempted, hold on, no, that's not what it was. I looked down there, saw Cox returning to Newcomb. They were trying the hidden ball trick, but Irvin was on the bag. It didn't work. Newcomb throws, Thompson swings and misses. Irvin down at third. Whitey Lockman up at first. None out. And up is Bobby Thompson. Just dangerous as a Great Dane behind a meat counter. Facing Big Don Newcomb, the right-hander of the Brooklyn Dodgers, as drama and tension reign supreme in the Polo Grounds, New York. Bobby Thompson, the batter, the Royal Scot. A good thumper, right-hand hitter, doubled in an earlier inning, and then singled, 2 hits, swings, fouls it off at his feet, 2 strikes. The Flying Scotsman, star outfielder. Outfield plays him deep over to the left. Broke in 46 at third base after 2 years in the minors. From Staten Island, New York, born in Glasgow, Bobby Thompson, 2 on. At third, Irvin with the National League's tying run. We won't speak of it as the Giants tying run. It's just the National League's tying run. This is a game between the first and the first place teams in the National League. Giants and the Dodgers. Dodgers and the Giants, depending on how you look at it. Lockman at first. Newcomb made a try at third. A desperate gambling shot, trying to cut down a lead runner. They'd have to tag him down there. Didn't. Irvin was in safely on the try off a Lockman bunt. Lockman's at first on the fielder's choice. Runners first and third. Newcomb checks and throws to Thompson. Bobby swings. Hits the dribbler. High bounding Baltimore chop. Down the third baseline past the Rocha foul. Fan reaches out and gets himself a souvenir of this tremendous playoff game in the National League. Boy, over on the Gowanus, the lilies must be drooping. Bodies must be floating down the canal like water. And a warm sun tries to peek out overhead with the light still shining. Excitement at its maximum. Bobby Thompson backs out of the batter's box. Newcomb is a good pitcher under fire. Don't underestimate him. You remember down in Philadelphia when he had the bases full, a tough man at bat. And the count, 3-1 on the hitter, and still got out of it. Newcomb kicks, throws, Thompson swings and lets the pop up to the left, out of play. Coming up on top our Liberty Broadcasting System booth, foul. It's Irvin at third with a tying run. Whitey Lockman's at first. The infield is pulled in to play for the play at the plate. They want to cut off that winning run or the tying run. Irvin at third base. The outfield is very deep to the left. Crowd caught with suspense. Black shadow of calamity hanging over the Brooklyn Dodgers. The Brooklyn high tide of battle. 13 and a half games long since gone. Down stormy 1 in the National League. The magic number 1 for either team. All right. Blanket of blue now, Bob. Lightning up overhead. Newcomb offers. Up swings at the long drive. Deep out in left field. That'll bring home the run. Back goes Snyder. He's under it, waiting. Irvin is tagged up. Here he comes into the plate. And it's a 1-1 tie in New York. Thompson at a sky-high drifting fly deep out in left field. Sending Irvin home from third. Marty Lockman, who had a sacrifice in the fielder's choice, batting in front of home plate to advance Irvin, where flag at scoring is now harbored still on first base, and Willie Mays is the batter. Mays, dramatic story being told here. A story that will linger 20 years, 50 years from now in baseball history. Mays takes time to ball one. One man out, one man on, one run in. The one-up is Willie Mays. It's the seventh inning of play here at the Polo Grounds in New York in a death struggle, a battle to the end between the Dodgers and the Giants. Newcomb looks over toward Lockman. He throws down. Mays throws, gets right down to Reese, who shovels to Robinson for one. They try for two. It's a double play. The brilliant, airtight Dodger infield again contains the New York Giants as Reese comes up with another saver, and the Dodgers reel off their second double play this afternoon. They have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fine stops. 3 by Reese, 2 by Billy Cox. And now at the end of 7 innings, the New York Giants totals for the last half of the seventh. Reed, 1 run, 1 base hit, a double by Marty Irvin, leading lights in the Giants' comeback here since August the 12th. No errors, nobody left on base. And at the end of 7 innings here in the Polo Grounds, New York, in a misty, murky Harlem River afternoon, the score is Brooklyn 1, the New York Giants 1. First half of the 8th inning, first 1/3 of the Dodger order. First pitch from Magley. Swung on, hit right back to him, and he lines out. Carl Furillo on a line drive, bolting blast back to Magley's leather. Magley stopped it on the line. He was about chest high, boomed to him, and that would have undressed Sal unless he'd caught it in the leather. Pee Wee Reese, long-time Dodger favorite, will be up now. The pencil playing deep to the left. He's a steady hitter, an excellent fielder. The club's only 10-year man. Now Reese comes up. Feet spread, square stance, digs in. Acknowledged Dodger leader and field captain. The Dodgers won, the Giants won. Giants rallied to tie it for Magley. The barber's pitch is hit down and over the head of Eddie Stanky, bouncing in right field for base hit. Pee Wee Reese comes up with a single. Stanks out there in right. A close line drive as Reese hung out the wash over Eddie Stanky's sleeping fingers. Very fast. Duke Snyder comes on now. Has tremendous power, a left-hand hitter against the right-hand pitcher. And Magley will have to be very careful with the dangerous Snyder. With a short right field fence, only 297 feet down the line, 257 feet down the line. Jensen warming in the Giant bullpen. 1 on, 1 out. National League pennant riding down to the last 2 innings. The pitch swung on and missed. First half of the 8th inning. Duke Snyder waving at him. On deck, Jackie Robinson. Andy Pafko down in the hole. Snyder up at the bat right now. 1 on, 1 out. The outfield is straight away. Eddie Stanky walks back to defensive position as Bobby Thompson comes into council with Magley. So we're going to have a little forum in session out on the mound. Westrom out to talk to Magley. Here comes Alvin Dark, the Giants team captain, in also. Umpires, in case you didn't get him, who were watching placidly. Getz at third, Stewart at second, Jock O'Connell is at first, and Lou Jordan back at home. Boy, this crowd is really something. They will all be fit for straitjackets when this one is over. Dodgers and the Giants doing battle for the honor. A debt the 7 clubs must pay in the National League. Doing battle down to the last ditch, to the last rampart. 1-1, going into the 8th inning of the end of the end of the end. 1 game, 2 games, 3 games after the end of the regular season. Just 1 day before the World Series, and it's still not decided, and it looks like that it might go on and on. Westrom goes back into the New York Giant dugout, and we may have a new New York Giant catcher coming on. Nope, it's going to be Westrom. He was just adjusting his paraphernalia. Throttling pressure. One of these 2 teams is at death's door in the National League in the 8th inning, and we still don't know who it is. Still don't know. Would you care to hazard a guess? I wouldn't. I wouldn't have the vaguest idea. As far as I'm concerned, this one is completely in the laps of the gods. if ever we have seen a National League pennant race which pits two completely evenly matched teams, this one is it. The Giants, in the closing stage of the campaign, were unquestionably the hottest team in the race. The Dodgers, in the first part, were head and shoulders above the field. Now, in these three games, they're equal. Dead, even, Steven, equal. Bagley to Snyder, who swings, beats a whistling foul down past Whitman. A bouncer. Jake got out of the way, worried by that one. Now, Pee Wee Reed starts back to the bag. Strokes his chin. Westrom, walking part of the way back out the pitcher's mound, walks back now. Turns around, looks at the batter. Guy's ready to crouch. Magley scuffing up the ball. The outfield straight away. The pressure is terrific. The Brooklyn Dodgers, thought stricken 2 days ago, back now, trying to squelch the Giants. First half of the eighth inning, 1-1 tie. The pitch by Magley, offered down, swung on, hitting the home. Between first and second, Frankie Ritchie can't get it. Here's Reed getting to third. Here's throw to third. He's not in time. He's in that sliding time to runners on first and third, one out. Robinson up here now. Reed to third, Snyder at first, Jack Robinson the hitter, Andy Pasco on deck. And now out comes Leo DeRocher to talk to the barber, who right now is being given a rather close shave himself by the Brooklyn Dodgers. That was a hard-hit shin smacker, banked by Duke Snyder past Stanky. Jackie Robinson, the good-hitting second baseman of the Brooklyn Dodgers, with a 337 batting average and one hit and two times at bat today. 3 hits yesterday, one the day before. A game-winning home run the day before that on Sunday is up now, waiting outside the batter's box in the blue uniform of what the Brooklyn Riders are calling the stalwart line of blue. Val Magley on the hill. Now we'll tell you about it pitch by pitch now. Robinson up at Journey's End in the National League, trying to strike the fatal blow. Magley in deep trouble. The great barber pitching to Robinson is high and wide with his first one. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0. The greatest day of them all in National League history. The greatest game of them all. Robinson batting. It gets away from Westrom. Reed racing in to score. Here is Snyder around second, heading for third. The throw there is not in time. He's at third. The Dodgers lead 2-1. Wild pitch. The Giants' cause at this moment would appear a lost cause. They trail 2-1, runner on third, one out. Wild pitch by Magley, which hit low in the dirt, bounced back behind Western to the screen, sent Reed racing home to score, and Snyder from first to third. Robinson swings at one foul. Back and out of play. Magley, imperturbable right-hander, having been here this afternoon just a couple of times service apparently. Drove the Ross back to the ground in disgust. Magley was pitched in all kinds of weather, in all kinds of situations. A logical choice for the big one here today.
The last day of the regular season, the Battle of Coogan's Bluff, with the Giants being slowly pressed. 2-1, the Dodgers lead them. At first, Robinson, on third, Snyder. Andy Pasco on deck. So, a moment ago, the Giant hopes were shining so brightly. Now are so bleak, so dreary. Strike called on Pasco. 0-1. 1 out. Hodges on deck. Tough part of the Dodger order up here in the eighth inning. The Giants, in the last half of the eighth, will have Westrom, Magley, or a pinch hitter for him, probably the pinch hitter. Then Eddie Stanky. Then the tough part of their list in the last half of the ninth inning. Val Magley kicks and throws. Swung on, beaten down the third base line. Gets away from it in foul territory. Throws his error. Rush shot to the plate. Dodgers lead 3-1.
Thompson, the Giant outfielder turned infielder, bobbles a hard hit, tough to handle grounder down the third base line. It goes, it's narrow, half course on. Robinson speeds to second. Dodgers lead 3-1 as Snyder comes home. The pitch, cut on and missed wickedly by Snyder, who was churning from the heels. 3-1 in favor of the Dodgers. First half of the eighth inning. The Giants have 6 outs left. The National League race. Kozlo has joined Jensen with the Giant bullpen. Unquestionably now there will be a pinch hitter for Magley in the last half of the eighth inning. The desperate fighting. The Giants trying to rally their shattered remnants for a last stand in the last half of the eighth and ninth. One strike to count on Hodges, who swings, lifts the pop-up down the third base line. They're waiting for it. It's Thompson. Robinson is having to hustle back towards second base. He'll make it, though, and Thompson grabs the ball for the out. 2 away. Runner still at first base and second base. Robinson on second, Tapco on first. We pause 10 seconds for station identification to remind you that you are listening to America's newest network, the second largest network in the world on its first birthday, the 431-station Liberty Broadcasting System. Well, the best laid plans of mice and men gang after the clay. And even with the choice of Sal Magley, the Dodgers have been able to lead 3-1 here in the last half of the eighth. Sal delivers. Scott swings that one down. Thompson off his glove in the left field. Robinson to right third on his way in with a fourth Dodger run. Holding a second. Tapco Dodgers lead 4-1. A walk, a Giant error. Billy Cox's single, which went hopping over the glove of Bobby Thompson at third base. Thompson's error became 3-1, 3 runs, and lead the New York Giants 4-1 going into the last half of the eighth inning. Still only 1 man out, men at first and second. The pitch looking up to the right. Sankey eats it up, throws to first, trying for the third out, and gets it there to Loxton. 4-3 on Walker. For the Dodgers, who had 2 unearned runs in the inning, the last 2 runs being unearned. The Dodgers had 3 runs, 3 hits, 1 error by the New York Giants, and a costly error by Bobby Thompson, if they prove to be. 2 men left on base. Going into the last half of the eighth, and one of the final 2 chances for the New York Giants in the vanishing National League race, the score, Brooklyn 4, the New York Giants 1. The bases boy, Bill Rigney, pitch batting for Wes Weston as we open the last half of the eighth inning as the Giants go down the last mile. The Dodgers may have just served a death warrant. Burlow line to the pitch to open the eighth, an uneventful beginning, but then Reese singled to right. Snyder followed with another quick single, and with men on first and third with 1 out, Sal Magley wild pitched Snyder home. Dodgers led 2-1. Robinson walked. There were men then on first and third with 1 out still. Thompson made an error on Tapco's grounder. Another run came in. Then Cox singled on another run. There's a pitch over there for a call strike as the Brooklyn fans roar, roar, roar. Signs go up everywhere. Go, Dodgers, go. Hank Thompson was on deck. Right-hand hitter here. Bill Rigney to bat in the basketball. Chokes the bat. The outfield's on for that. He gets quick 2 call on the outside corner. Rigney backs out. On deck is Hank Thompson, who will hit for Sal Magley. Donkey Thompson will hit for Sal Magley. Magley will no longer be a factor in the game's winning. Newcomb into the big pumping motion. Big Don brings it down. Swung on a disc for strike 3. That's all for Bill Rigney. And up comes Sal Magley. Or rather, Donkey Thompson, as we told you, hitting for Sal Magley. On deck, Sankey. Down in the hole, Dark. Giants fighting the final summons. Well, the Giants, who showed a heart of oak and winning 38 of their last 46 games up until today. Paper being thrown out in left field out of the stands, littering the field. Dodger supporters beginning to celebrate, perhaps a little bit precipitately. The Giants facing extinction in the National League race. They are 4 outs away. Thompson swings, hits one down to the right side. Hodges goes over, backhand, Newcomb's over to Jefferson. who sped to his right, made a good backhand stop, halfway back on the skin of the infield. 2/3 of the way over towards, or 1/3 of the way over towards second. Stopped the ball, skidded, after putting on the chains, turned around, threw a perfect precision spot throw to Big Newcomb, rushing over to his left to cover first on the loft for the out. 3-1. And now Eddie Sankey is the batter from Mobile, Alabama. Leo's pride and joy. Dangerous clutch man. Plenty of hustle. Newcomb throws across the outside corner for a strike on Sankey. The valorous New York Giants in peril as the Dodgers, bearding the Giant in his den, lead 4-1. Last of the eighth, Sankey batting. Little fellow waits, cocks, and then doesn't offer as the ball sails over the head of catcher Walker for ball one. 1-1. Newcomb is putting tremendous speed on every pitch. His arm seems to be completely loose. Completely. Crowd hopping around like a bunch of floor walkers in Macy's basement. Here comes Newcomb. Down with it. Sankey swing to left a high pop up to the left side. Dashing overboard is Reese along the line. Reaches up and holds it in for the opposite side of the side. The Giants are disposed of in the eighth inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. At the end of the game, don't turn your radio set off if you hear loud, strange noises. It'll be the sand falling in. At the end of 8 innings here at the Polo Grounds in New York. The Dodgers 4, the Giants 1. Now Sal Magley throwing a few scattered boos as he goes up the dressing room steps. He is being relieved here now by Larry Jensen, who the Giants hoped would start the first game of the World Series against the New York Yankees tomorrow across the Harlem River at Yankee Stadium, which now for the Giants looms as misty and far away across that Harlem River from where we are sitting as the Taj Mahal. Jansen, considered by many as the best pitcher in the big time today. Sterling right-hander. He can knock a fly off a bat at 60 feet. Walks only an average of 1 man every 4 innings. Has great control, a good hop on his fastman, a good curve, a good slider. So here, quiet, unassuming family man Larry Jensen from Forest Grove, Oregon, to pitch the top half of the 9th inning against the Brooklyn Dodgers with Raphael Noble spelled as though it was pronounced Noble, doing the catching for the Giants. A new battery. Jansen and Noble. Don Newcomb getting a fine hand from the crowd. Let's do him still. Newcomb swinging for the Dodgers. First half of the 9th inning, Giants trail 4-1. Jansen pitches and Larry hits the inside corner for a strike. Boy, I'll be 7 sardines in a size 6 can if this isn't happening. Brooklyn 4, the New York Giants 1. First half of the 9th inning. Jansen offers. Newcomb hits one weakly to the right. Sankey comes in fast for it. Collars it, gobbles, throws to first. Guns it in there in time for the out. Wending our way tortuously toward that last half of the 9th inning, which will be the big inning. 4-3 for the out. Carl Furillo, Brooklyn Dodger batter. Furillo led off in the 8th inning. Drove a screamer right back into the hands of Magley at that time, and it looked like the 8th inning was to be a routine frame. But then the Dodgers broke open like a ripe watermelon. Jansen trying to preserve the vestige of a Giant chance. Throws. Furillo hits one weakly to the left side. A ground skinner picked up by Dark, who angles the throw on the right field side of first to the reaching Whitey Lockman, who hauls it back for the out. Now 2 up and 2 down. It will be left to Pee Wee Reed in the regular National League season now to keep the Dodgers alive in the 9th inning. This may be the last Dodger batter up in the regular National League season. A great ball game that they'll be talking about down through National League history for many, many years to come, down through baseball history. Jansen throws it down. Reese hits a long, long drive out in center, but Willie Mays is loping back. Will be able to get out. He turns around, swallows it to the out to retire the side. It'll be the last half of the 9th inning, and a dramatic last half it should be. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. And now the Giants, struggling for breath. 3 outs away from extinction in the National League race will come up in the last half of the 9th inning with a score of Brooklyn 4, the New York Giants 1. game to the New York Giants from the Boston Braves. The Dodger outfield is playing it way over to the left side. Jackie Robinson, hands on hips. 2 steps off the grass, down at second base. Pee Wee Reese strides towards third base, shortstop. Billy cocks off the line, deep back, goes Hodges first. Alvin reaches out, swings at one to the right side. Half touch off the front. Jackie Robinson runs for it. It is in there for base hit for Alvin Dark in the last half of the ninth inning. Dark banks a ground ball wide of first. Hodges raced over. Tried to make a backhand stop on it, like he did on Don Mueller in the 6th inning. Or rather on Hank Thompson in the 8th inning. But this time, it squirted off his glove, Englished over past Jackie Robinson, and by the time Robbie retrieved it, Alvin is at first with a base hit to open the 9th inning, and Don Mueller the batter. The Dodgers have 2 pitchers warming up just in case. No sense saving them for next spring. You're offering, swung on, hit right down, to the right field for a big hit. Here is Stark around second, streaking for third. The throw to third is Shantytowns, cut off by Reese. Dodgers chance has a tying run at the plate, not out. Now out comes Preston as the Giants, teetering at the break, refuse to be counted out. And this is baseball and emotion, thrill at its rawest. Mueller hit one down past Hodges into right field for a last half of the 9th inning opening base hit. The Giants have that very good hitting, home run hitting right-hander, Marty Irvin at the plate. Branca and Erskine are the 2 bullpen warmer-uppers for the Brooklyn Dodgers. The Giants about to perish, hanging on for dear life. The pitch, Irvin watches outside for ball 1 to the right-hander. 2-on, Stark at third, John Mueller at first base. The Giants strike to make a last half of the 9th inning saving rally. Now Mueller at first base, standing close to the bag, leads off. Stark leads down the line with nobody in the guard against him. Leo DeRocha blowing on his hand, making all sort of signals down there. Newcomb checked his runners. Here's the pitch to the right-hander. Irvin reaches, misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. He was cutting for the fence that time. Had he hit that one would have been all the way out and over and into Mamie O'Toole's apartment house window over the left field wall. Riley took a 360-degree cut at it. Arms over his head. Newcomb comes kicking in with it again. Irvin reaches out, lets the high pop-up down the first base line. Hodges over, waiting. Held it in this runaway here in the 9th inning. It's Marty Irvin, to the utter black despair of the New York Giants fan, pops out. But still, the Giants have coming on 2 very, very potent hitters, Whitey Lockman and Bobby Thompson. Thompson particularly has a single and a double today. Whitey Lockman has driven 1 single and 3 times at bat. The grieving Giant fans, holding on to the last, will be inconsolable if their heroes, after winning 16 straight, 38 out of their last 45, out of their last 46, I guess it was, cannot win the final 2 games of the National League season. The batter, Whitey Lockman, the Carolina towhead. Marty Irvin just pops out. On deck, Bobby Thompson, the Royal Scot, head at first and third, tying run at the plate. Whitey swings for a home run, fouls it back into the screen. The Giants are going for that short fence. Left-hand hitter, Newcomb throwing down his foul balls, trying to get him out of here in the last half of the 9th inning, and brings the Brooklyn Dodgers their 4th opportunity against the Yankee in the World Series. The New York Yankees are watching here and are being treated to one of baseball's greatest shows, the greatest thrill that I remember down through my years of broadcasting. Whitey standing back, deep in the batter's box, waiting for the pitch from Newcomb, arms over his head. Big John knocks up, unravels, throws. Whitey swings that drive, takes it along the left field line. Alvin Dark comes in. Here's the runner on his way to third. Safko bobbles the ball briefly down and into second base with a tying run. Whitey locks the left over. Now the Giants have a tying run on second base and third. It's Don Mueller as he slid into third. He must have wrenched his ankle or his knee. He has hurt at third. DeRocha looking him over. So is Al Dark. Bobby Thompson, who's been the big siege gun in the Giant arsenal down through this series and then through the past few weeks, a .290 hitter, will be the last half of the 9th inning hitter. And now the crowd, perhaps in a hush. That feeling of electricity and anticipation in the air is in a sort of a hush, a sort of a quiet waiting feeling And now the stretcher is being brought out to take Don Mueller off the field. He's down at third base. They'll load him onto the stretcher and cart him off now. Either his ankle or his knee. I can't tell which one. Alvin Dark is pointing toward the dugout. It's his ankle. Clint Floppy Hartung, sandy-haired, giant war sensation, former pitcher, former outfielder, now saved almost exclusively for sometimes pinch hitting, sometimes pinch running roles, running at third base for Don Mueller. That might be all for Don Newcomb, too. And that is, Newcomb has had it for this afternoon. He'll get a cake and a soap and a towel for the last time in the regular National League season with Ralph Branca. Trudging on, the Dodgers trying to save it here in the last half of the ninth inning. Everyone is absolutely limp in the greatest game of them all. Brooklyn 4, the Giants 2. The Giants have 2 on at second and third in the last half of the ninth inning. Newcomb has finally been shelled off the mound. His relief will be the Hawk, Ralph Branca. Rifleman Ralph, who wears his number 13. And will that be lucky for the Brooklyn Dodgers here in the last half of the ninth? Newcomb against Bagley it was. It's now to bring the drama to a close. Branca, the Brooklyn starter, against Larry Jett. Ralph Branca from Mount Vernon, New York, 21-game winner in 1947. A New York University graduate is going on the mound to throw for the Brooklyns and try to turn the Giants back here at the door of disaster in the last half of the ninth inning. Ralph Branca throwing. Ralph's victory record 13-11. This is Newcomb's game still to win. The runner at second, a tying runner, is his responsibility. Should he win, it'll be 21-9. It's Bagley's game, obviously, to lose. His record would be 23-7 should he lose it. Well, what more can anyone say about this? What could you possibly say to tell you about the drama? It's like the fella who tried to write a lead for a great sporting event, and he sat there. He sat after the game was all over his typewriter, and he just couldn't think of anything. He finally turned around to an old-time sports writer there, and he says, I'm trying to think of something. He said, maybe I can dramatize it by telling him something about the setting here. He turned around, he looked over there, and he says, let's see, is that the sun setting over there, setting in the west? This old sports writer says, son, if that sun ain't setting in the west, you got a greatest scoop of the century. Boy, I'm telling you, what they're going to say about this one, I don't know. Bobby Thompson, the batter. The outfield deep and very much to the left. Ralph Branca on the hill in favor of Newcomb. Rube Walker catching the pitch to Bobby. A straight call off the knees. Quick curve. The Branca rips right in. Branca has that tremendous overarm sinker curve that drops down. Then he has a roundhouse hook curve to right-hand batters by way of third. Extremely effective against right-handed. 2 pitchers for the Dodgers bullpen now. I think one of them's Rowe. Here's Bobby waiting. Branca throws. Bobby swings that ball right there on the wall. Scoring. Go! Look at this. It's the finish. I don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say. It's the greatest victory in all baseball history. The greatest come-from-behind triumph in the history of the game, as Bobby Thompson hit a 2-out base home run in the last half of the ninth inning as the new National League champion of the New York Giants, who came back from the brink with grit and pluck and strenuous power that will live down as long as they write baseball history. And now, an emotionally spent crowd goes out. Bobby Thompson, I don't even think, got to run around the bases. They just robbed him. The Giants were all over him. This scene here is one of wild pandemonium, the like of which I've never seen. As the Giants win their 39th game in their last 47 starts, come from 16 games behind the loss column, and 13 games, 13 and a half behind, to win it in baseball's most amazing finish. And now, the Dodger fans, stunned, absolutely shocked, go piling out of the stands to go to console their heroes. And the Giant fans, who are at the swarming the dressing room door, are charging Michigan and trying to knock it down out at the clubhouse now. Have just witnessed the greatest finish in baseball history. And they are intent upon getting in and smothering Bobby Thompson with kisses. Ralph Franca is the loser. The winner is Larry Jansen of the New York Giants, 22-11. Ralph 13-12, but who cares? Here he's in the National League. Greatest National League game of them all. Giants fought off the final summons, and they were a team, if ever there was a team in sports, if ever there was a team that couldn't be beat. They just couldn't be whipped. Down in the last half of the ninth inning, trailing 4-1, Alvin Dock speared a single to right. John Mueller had a single to right. Then on first and third, Matty Irvin popped up, and Giant hopes were as black as the inside of a hog. When Whitey Lockman drove a single, drove home the second run, it was 4-2, and then electrifying, something that absolutely shook this crowd right to its keystone. Bobby Thompson drove one just over the wall down the left field line. A 3-run home run to bring the Giants back from the pale, to give them a victory, 5-4 in the National League race. It's all over, and tomorrow afternoon, across in the midst of Yankee Stadium, across that Harlem River, and we can see it from here, the New York Giants go into the start of a World Series. A World Series that the Giants have not been in since 1937. This is the most important New York Giants triumph since the days of John McGraw. And now DeRocher and his New York Giants go down in history, along with the names of New York Giants of other years: Ruth Marquardt, Turkey Mike Donlin, Herzog, Frisch, Ott, Young, Christy Mathewson, Big Six, on and on and on. McGraw won 10 pennants here. He never won one as dramatic as the one Leo DeRocher has just won. And that flaming spirit of Bobby Thompson, the Royal Scot, if you forgive the expression, came through in the last half of the ninth inning with the most dramatic home run of them all. And what more can you say? This crowd